Welcome back. More horrifying news out of Iran. 4 Christians in Iran sentenced to 80 lashes for drinking communion wine. This comes just days after 4 other Christians, including girls just 8 and 12 years old, were killed during a Christian wedding in Egypt. So why is no one talking about this? Christians being attacked around the world. Joined now by the president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy and the author of The Battle for the Soul of Islam, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. Doc, nice to see you this morning. Welcome to the show. Why do you think no one's talking about this, and how widespread is this?
Thank you, Clayton. It's nice to be with you. I can't tell you how important this is. I think nobody's talking about it because nobody's willing to have the courage to realize that the plight of Christians in Egypt and Iraq as they've disappeared. I mean, we've seen over 100 churches in Egypt destroyed. Christians are caught in the middle in the war in Syria, where there's been a genocide against the Sunni majority, but now the Christians caught in the middle are being targeted. In Kenya, the act at Westgate was basically targeting Christians. In Pakistan, on September 22nd, a church was bombed and over 78 were killed. So what's happening is this is the canary in the coal mine of the new Cold War, if not the biggest foreign policy issue facing us today is religious freedom. And where religious freedom is lost, so too is lost freedom for the majority in these countries. And the Islamists are filling in a vacuum in every one of these countries. Where we went to liberate Iraqis, now Christians have almost disappeared from Iraq. And unless America wakes up, at best, Clayton, we're either asleep at what's going on. At worst, I fear, actually, we're facilitating the ascension of Islamists in all of these countries.
I mean, I'm sitting here with my mouth open because what you just said is frightening. And just put up a map here, Doc. I want to show you this. This is how widespread some of this is around the world. You have Kenya. You have other examples around the world. Take a look. But all over, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, North Korea, and Mali. That's just even a short list right there. Has the United States responded the way it needs to? Has any country stood up and said enough is enough and grabbed the bull by the horns and taken the lead on this?
Well, we've had a few leaders like Congressman Frank Wolf, who has put through H.R. 301 that passed in the House that looked at creating a special envoy to the Near East to protect religious freedom, and it's still waiting to go through the Senate. But still, these are the first steps. I mean, we have to get the right person appointed. And remember, the plight of Christians as minorities is only one symptom of an underlying ascension of a global ideology that affects a quarter of the world's population, 56 countries that are Muslim majority, where if we don't advocate for religious freedom, which is that canary in the coal mine, you're going to see the replacement of this opportunity of the Arab awakening being lost to the ascension of Islamist regimes like Iran, like Saudi Arabia, where Christians can't even build a church, where they have to have underground churches. Same thing in Iran, where now you have underground house churches where they're persecuted. And unless we have a president and a State Department with the courage to recognize and take sides within the House of Islam, that we need to find the Muslims that agree with us and make them build coalitions with Christians looking for freedom, we're going to lose the next century to the ascension of radical Islamists all over the world.
Powerful words. Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, we appreciate you joining us this morning and putting this in perspective. Thanks.
Thanks, Clayton.